What is up guys, S1DD3RS12 here, and today we are going to do something different once again. The plan is to not do a redstone build, but to build ourselves a fort. The reasoning for a fort is when we are attacked by hundreds upon thousands of angry mobs, we want somewhere where we can run and we can hide, and we can then lay down some traps and some protection. So I want the fort to be in close proximity to our base, sort of like so, and we want it a bit elevated, like on this hilltop here. So as you can see in the bottom right hand corner, or towards the bottom right in my inventory, we have a bucket of lava. The idea being is we'll make a moat around an area, and then we'll make some pillars. At the top of these pillars we'll put some dispensers in which we will have a bucket of lava. So as we run into our fort, we can then deploy these buckets of lava, and they will let streams of lava flow down into a death pit below where all the mobs are standing. Now, in effect, or in my head, this works, but I don't think mob mechanics would mean that they're all going to walk into the lava, but it's interesting to see, and if anything, it'll look cool. So I'm just prepping the area now. What I want to do is probably make something that's probably about 5 by 5 wide, make it almost like a little island on which it sits on itself, and then barricade off the area with cobblestone around it, so even if a creeper explodes he can't damage the area too much. So I'm just going to cobblestone off an area. This is going to be the area of which our fort will reside. Hello chicken, do you want to come into our fort? Yes. Tough. No chickens allowed. We're going to put a sign on the door. You will not be allowed into our fort. It's for me and no one else. Maybe a couple moo cows. Oops, daisy. No, we don't want that. We do not want dirt. Dirt is not strong enough. Nor do we want a red poppy, because that's not going to do too much on the old defense front either. So I've got a few nicer looking resources as well, so it's not just going to be cobblestone. I'm going to put a few bricks in place as well. So what we want to do is create our border like so. This is like a little frame for where the fort is going to stand. If a creeper then blows up, he's not going to send a trickle of lava down below. So I'm not sure how big this area is so far. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6, 6, 6. I think we need to maybe bring it into 5 by 5. And we'll have like a little viewing platform. Oops, a daisy. Oops, a daisy. We fell down, hen. We don't want to do that, do we? So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 3. Yep, so we need to strip off another row of cobblestone, and then we can then begin to climb upwards. So there we go, and then we're going to have an area of... Is 3 going to be big enough actually? That looks a bit narrow. I will tell you what, we'll expand it out 2 more. We don't want to restrict our area anyway, do we? Make it nice and pretty and big. I'm going to expand out 2 this way as well. So this makes it 7 by 7. Now it might be a case that the lava doesn't flow in the corners, but we'll see when we get there on that one. strip of cobblestone along here. There we go. Chicken is adamant that it's going to be in the fort, but I can tell you now it's not. You're not going to be in the fort. You're not allowed. I'm going to make a sign saying no hens. So this is the base. So in the middle, oh, luckily we have got a middle on each side. We're then going to build a stack of the old bricks. So we're going to go, how big do we want this to be? And we'll then, yeah, I think that looks, so maybe up a couple more. We don't want to let our area be too small after all, do we? So we'll come across that way 2, this way 2, and then we're going to go back up here by, oh, hang on. I'm going to go back up here. I'm going to hit my head in a second. Let me up there. Thank you. There we go. I'm back down. And up again. Now, I'm fingers crossed this is going to work. I haven't got any guarantees, to be honest with you. I'm just sort of making it up on the spot. So, now I'm not sure if I want to build ladders. I think that is enough area for me to actually build a nice stone staircase. Spiraling upwards as well. Now I think on the dispensers they need to be facing the right way to work properly, so I'm probably going to have to try and crouch place them pointing outwards. Crouch place pointing outwards, same on this side. Help me down. Pointing outwards, and crouch place pointing outwards. Now I think once the lava in these buckets sets, it'll leave a row of cobblestone down. So over time, every single use of this base, it'll expand out, which just means I'll have to keep adapting the moat at the bottom. And it'll be a point where I'll probably have to dig the cobblestone back, but let me in there. And then this one, another bucket of lava. So with that, we want to make ourselves a nice platform on which to stand. How is this going to work? Because we need to put a lever in the back of each of those dispensers. So, how are we going to do this last bit? How are we going to do this? If I drop that under there, like so, we could actually probably build a ladder up. I'll tell you what, ladder is the way forward. I'm going to make a nice high stack, and we need to go and get ourselves some ladders. So jump up there, go up the ladders, and then we can flick all the switches, and then the rivers of lava should fall where they need to fall. Oh, I need to stop placing blocks like that everywhere. My lack of accuracy on the old mouse button clicking haunts me. It strikes once again. Only can sleep at night. Fair dues. I can be productive while I am waiting with some construction of ladders. And 15 should be more than enough. And we are now going to sleep. So we have our ladders, we have some levers, and we have our dispensers full of lava. We have a bucket of water. We probably need to make that 2 buckets of water to make an infinite water source up there. So if all does go wrong, we can at least put the fire out. We don't want to burn ourselves alive, of course. Looks a bit garish at the moment. I think we've got to make it look a bit prettier than what it is at the moment. But that can be easy enough done. So we're going to grab our ladders. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and up. So now we are up. We want to drop in a bit more of a platform for us to stand on. That and that and that. And then we're going to come out again. So we can then come around this dispenser, so it puts the lava out there. I think the idea would be we'll dispense the lava, and every single time you convert it to cobblestone, we'll just drop down on that like column of lava and just take it out. I'm going to make this side cobblestone. No need for aesthetics, it's there for practical purposes. It is a defense after all. It was built in a sense of urgency before the next night comes and the creepers come and explode all of us up. Explode all of us up. So we're going to go out there, out here, and where I am standing as well. We want to come out 1, 2, 3, or 3, 1, 2, and that and that and that. No, don't place that there. We might want to do a bit of prettiness later on, but we're just going to do the practical side of it first. It's starting to look like a bit of a civilization down there. We've got a farm, we've got a bit of building of the old potatoes allotments and wheat allotments, and we've got a cheeky redstone build but we can't quite see. We've got our castle in the distance, and then we've got our underground mine with the little route down, so we're starting to drop a few buildings in place. So with that, I'm going to drop down on these, and hopefully this is going to work. So if I'll probably just do one. So if I'm wanting to get away quickly, the mobs are attacking, click that, and then this should flow down. It's hardly the fastest of responses, and it's not fast flowing lava after all, but it should flow out and fill that quite nicely. So now if I go up and switch this off, the lava stream, will it stop and disappear, or do I need to put a water bucket down? Now if I put a water bucket down, that's going to set, but if I change the source block, it might cut it off. So if I drop that there, wait for a second, and then hit this out, carefully not dropping on this, the lava should then disappear. And hey presto, we've managed to do it without leaving an extra column of cobblestone behind. So I think that almost works. We just need to have a spare stash of lava buckets up here, of course, so we haven't just got one use. We'll probably drop in 2 or 3 uses in each one. Now, worst case scenario, if we've got a fire, we want to be able to put it out. And we also want to make sure that the base isn't too flammable to start off with. So in this corner, I'm going to build a good old infinite water source out of an assortment of random blocks that I've got lying around, since I never bring ever enough to do a build properly. So here we go, 1 and a 2, and we are now protected with our infinite water source. Very cool and trendy. We'll drop on the extra row of these here now, just to try and deter us from running off at any point, and making sure we don't drop down any of these holes. And to further help with the issue, we are going to put a ring of oak fences around here as well, as a further deterrent as to not drop down any of these holes. So go that and that and that. Don't back off on that corner. No, you do it. You're stupid. And there's a hole here, so up and over that hole, and across here, and across here, and another hole. And I think we might want to also do a bit of barricading around these. Oh no, across there and across here. We should still be able to get to the dispensers even if we do this, but it just means we are protected from falling down these holes. and being extra stupid one day. It does destroy the movement up here a little bit, but it's not for any practical purpose. The main purpose for having it is for the attack of the mobs for when it comes. So drop these two up here, and then we'll drop the last ones up here. Is that going there? Is that about right? I need to put another one on there. There we go, symmetrical. Now the only other thing I can think of, and I have got torches, is to stop mobs actually spawning up here, because that will sort of defy the point of this fort if we don't light it up and we have all the mobs spawning. So we'll drop in a bit of symmetry on the old torches, and we can still get up here as a viewpoint. You can see what's happening down below. So if there's ever a point in Minecraft now where we need to defend against the attack of mobbing swarms, and we haven't got the option of going to bed, and there's creepers preventing us from going downstairs on both exits, and we don't feel like digging straight into the ground around, and we don't feel like going to our second bed in that home over there, we can then come up to the fort and click on all the lava switches, wait for them to deploy, and wait, come down here, and we'll have a load of burning mobs. So I think we'll leave it for there on today's episode of how to protect yourself from the mob attacks, the mob apocalypse, the apocalypse of the mobs, zombie Armageddon, or whatever it's going to be. We now have our tower of protection, and with that I will leave it here for today's episode. Obviously keeping the old hunger levels up. So thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you again next time for yet more Minecrafting action. Thank you, and there you go, doggies. Goodbye. Goodbye.